Let's be straight with each other for a second. Most men over 45 aren't making obvious mistakes. You're not showing up to dinner in cargo shorts. You're not wearing something that clearly belongs to a different decade. The basics are covered. But something still doesn't land quite right. You get dressed, everything seems fine, and yet the mirror gives back something a little heavier, a little older, a little less sharp than you actually feel inside. Here's the thing most guys never figure out. 9 times out of 10, that's not coming from the clothes. It's coming from the accessories, the small stuff, the things you've been putting on every single day without ever really stopping to ask, is this still working for me? Today we're going through 7 of them, not to judge anyone's choices, but because small adjustments at this level genuinely change how you come across in a room. And every single one of them has a fix that takes maybe 10 minutes to act on. Let's get into it. At this age, it's not about wearing more, it's about wearing right. Item 1. Oversized belt buckle with logo. We'll start somewhere most guys genuinely never think about, not the belt, the buckle. Here's what a big logo buckle is actually doing that you may not have considered. It acts like a visual anchor. The eye lands there and stays there, which means every time someone looks at you, their attention gets pulled straight to your midsection and held there longer than you'd want. Beyond that, visible branding on a buckle reads as unfinished at this stage. It's the kind of detail that made a certain kind of sense when you were younger and building a look around labels. Past 45, it just signals that the details haven't been revisited in a while. The swap is simple. Clean leather belt, low-profile buckle, no exterior branding. Dark brown or black match to your shoes. It disappears into the outfit and lets everything else do the work. That's exactly what a belt should do. At this age, your belt should be the foundation, not the feature. Now, if the belt buckle is pulling attention somewhere you don't want it, wait until you hear what your watch might be doing. That's next. Item 2. Watch that's too big, too thick. There was a solid decade, roughly 2005 to 2015, when an oversized watch was genuinely the right call. Big case, thick profile, heavy bracelet. That was the aesthetic of that era. That era ended. Carrying that look into your mid-40s and beyond isn't just a style issue. A watch that dominates the wrist adds bulk to the whole arm, throws off your proportions, and gives the overall outfit a slightly unresolved quality. On a younger guy, it might read as bold. On a man over 45, it tends to read as someone who locked in a look and stopped paying attention. What works at this stage is cleaner, somewhere in the 38 to 42 mm range. Simple dial, leather strap, or a slim steel bracelet. The kind of watch that fits the wrist like it belongs there, not like it showed up to make a statement. A well-chosen watch is still one of the sharpest things a man can wear. It just works better when it's working quietly. A good watch doesn't demand attention, it just earns it. And speaking of things that show up on your face every day without much thought, the next one surprises a lot of guys. Item 3. Sporty or outdated sunglasses, wraparound frames, mirrored lenses, thick plastic that takes up half your face. Built for performance, designed for function. On a run or a ride, they do exactly what they're supposed to do. The problem is the habit. A lot of men picked up a pair of sporty sunglasses at some point. They became the default, and now they're showing up everywhere, over a decent outfit, on a Saturday afternoon, at a casual lunch. What happens is a disconnect that's hard to overlook. The rest of the look is pulled together. The sunglasses belong in a completely different setting. It's one piece that quietly undermines everything else you have going on. Classic shapes close that gap immediately. Wayfarers, simple aviators, clean metal frames. Nothing mirrored, nothing oversized. Tortoiseshell, matte black, gunmetal. These have been working on men for decades because they're designed to frame the face, not take it over. One of the faster upgrades available to most guys. The difference is immediate. Sunglasses should sharpen your face, not weigh it down. If this is clicking for you so far, go ahead and hit like. It genuinely helps other guys find the video. Now let's talk about something that's literally in your pocket right now. Item 4. Overstuffed wallet. Stay with me on this one. It sounds minor, and it is minor, but it's the kind of minor thing that shows up in ways you don't expect. A wallet thick enough to create a visible bulge in your back pocket affects how your trousers hang. It throws off the line of your lower half. And there's something about it that registers. A slight sense of disorder, of carrying more than necessary. Pull yours out right now. How many of those cards have you actually used in the last 30 days? How many receipts in there from transactions that are long settled? A slim wallet or a card holder with 2 or 3 cards and some cash sits flat, keeps your trousers reading correctly, and carries a quiet signal about how you operate. It's a small edit, but at this level, small edits are exactly what we're talking about. A well-put-together man doesn't carry his whole past in his back pocket. The next one is where a lot of guys push back. But hear me out, because the principle behind it matters. Item 5. Too much jewelry. Jewelry on men works. It adds character when it's chosen deliberately and kept in proportion. The version that doesn't work is the stacked version. Multiple bracelets alongside the watch, 2 necklaces at different lengths, rings on several fingers. Each piece might have a story behind it. Together, though, they create noise, and in style, noise reads as unsettled rather than confident. For men over 45, 1 or 2 pieces worn with intention is the sweet spot. A watch counts as 1. A simple chain if the neckline creates a natural space for it. A single ring if it carries real meaning. That's a complete picture. When the accessories start competing with each other, none of them win, and neither does the outfit. After 45, less but right will always beat more but cluttered. What's one piece you cut that made a noticeable difference? Drop it in the comments. Honestly, good to hear what's worked for people. Now 2 more to go, and this next one catches guys off guard. Item 6. Loud socks or novelty tie. The logic here is usually something like, I want to add personality. Keep things from feeling too serious. That instinct makes complete sense. The execution is where it tends to go sideways. Socks covered in bold cartoon prints or a novelty tie with an oversized loud pattern. These don't read as personality, they read as effort. The visible, deliberate effort to come across as fun and approachable. And in style, visible effort almost always undercuts the effect you're going for. Personality in the details lands better when it's understated. A sock with a fine stripe or a small geometric in a muted tone. A tie with a refined pattern that rewards a second look. These choices show that you paid attention without announcing it. They make the outfit feel considered rather than constructed. That's the version that actually works on a man at this stage of life. Maturity doesn't need to announce itself. It just needs to show up. One left. And this one is probably the most common thing I see on otherwise well-dressed men. Item 7. Oversized or overly tactical bag. Multi-pocket utility bags, heavy nylon with clips and Velcro and buckles everywhere. There's a context where all of that makes perfect sense. That context is not over a well-put-together outfit. When a tactical bag goes over a clean shirt and good trousers, the outfit pulls in 2 directions at once. The shirt says one thing. The bag says something completely different. The whole look can't resolve. It just contradicts itself. If you're carrying a bag most days, and most of us are, the better option is something that works with your silhouette. A slim leather messenger, a structured canvas or leather tote. Clean lines, minimal hardware, sits close to the body. Something that contributes to the overall picture instead of fighting it. And on days when you genuinely don't need one, going without is often the cleanest choice you can make. Not everything convenient makes you look better. 3 rules for accessories over 45. 7 items down. Before we close out, 3 principles that tie all of it together, and honestly apply well beyond this list. Rule 1. Quieter is sharper. Less hardware. Less visible branding. Less competition between what you're wearing and what you're wearing it with. When the accessories stop pulling focus, the whole outfit reads more clearly. That clarity is what polished actually looks like. Rule 2. Everything should belong. If one piece feels like it came from a different chapter, a different decade, a different context, a different version of you, it disrupts the entire picture. The goal isn't matching, it's coherence. Every piece feeling like it was chosen to be there. Rule 3. Choose things that last. A quality leather belt. A well-proportioned watch. A well-made bag. These work the same way 5 years from now as they do today. That staying power is what separates a real wardrobe from a collection of stuff you're constantly second-guessing. The best accessories are the ones people notice after, not the ones they see first. If this kind of content is useful, practical, no-nonsense style for men who are past the experimental phase and just want to get it right, subscribe. New video every week, nothing padded. Here's the honest version of what we covered today. Dressing well after 45 isn't about chasing what's new. It's not about keeping up with a younger aesthetic or overhauling your wardrobe. It's about editing. Looking at what you've been carrying forward and asking honestly, is this still working for me? The 7 things we went through today are small, but small things compound. Get 3 or 4 of them right and something shifts, not just in how other people read you, but in how you carry yourself when you walk out the door in the morning. That part matters too. One last question before you go. Which of these 7 are you currently working with? And which one do you think most men your age overlook without realizing it? Leave it in the comments. I read everyone. At this age, sophistication isn't about what you add, it's about what you choose.